Hello everyone, Allie here, and welcome to the Gold Mine. Thank you for joining me here on another episode at Allie's Treasure Trove. Today we do have another Naruto statue unboxing because yours truly is absolutely a degenerate. But this time, instead of being one of those Mega House gem statue, this time it is a Naruto GALS statue. So this is my first ever Naruto GALS figure, and I do have inside this outer box right here, Kushina Uzumaki. So I do have Naruto's mom to check out today, and I'm very excited to unbox this figure. Now I did pick this up locally from Anime Fix. We'll go ahead and throw their logo right up there on screen. Of course, their website in the description down below. But Anime Fix is an anime store located in St. Petersburg, Florida. So make sure if you're ever in the Pinellas County area to go check out Bobby at Anime Fix out. Like I said, link in the description to their website down below. And of course, their logo was on screen up there for a little bit. But very excited to go ahead and check out Kushina here. Like I said, my first ever Naruto GALS unboxing. So let's go ahead and swap view. Well, actually, I'm not going to swap yet because I'll go ahead and take her out of this outer box here before we jump into the inner box. Figured probably better to just go ahead and do that. Just because this box is pretty big. So, do have Kushina Uzumaki. Yes, Naruto's mom. Wish I saw more of her in the show. Now, I'm almost finished watching Naruto all the way through. Do have that one last. It's shown on the filler list as it's canon, but I believe we're going through the animated novels. Did watch Sasuke's story. Just finished up Shikamaru's story. And now I believe it's the Naruto and Hinata's wedding. So I'm excited for that. Just, I think, 7 episodes left, and I'm done with Shippuden. Watched all of it, aside from some filler. So might go back and watch some of the filler afterwards. You know, it's hard sometimes. You're in the middle of watching something like super important, and then it's like, oh, you want a season of filler? No, that's not what we want. So anyways, let's go ahead and swap views here. I know she's still in the plastic, but this is my first time checking her out, and I actually got in a couple weeks ago now. I did actually order a light box off Amazon, so once we're done here, I'm not going to fully put her away. I won't do it right away, but I actually want to take some pictures of Kushina out in the light box and then maybe throw it up on the Allie's Collectibles. Allie's Collectibles Instagram has been neglected a lot recently. I've just been super busy. I have stuff to show on there, of course. I just don't have the time. But there she is. Oh, she's so awesome looking. Of course, can't wait to see her outside of the box. But let's take a look at the box. Of course, has her chains, Naruto GALS. Reminds me of Pandora Hearts, which is why I was like, do I need a Kushina statue? She's cool. Do I need it? Yes, I need it. So I'm very excited about adding this to my collection. Actually, down over at Emerald City, down the street from the shop, they have the Tsunade, but I'm not in love with it. But let me know if you'd like to see me unbox that here on the channel. Of course, I can be convinced. But look at that. Like I said, reminds me of Pandora Hearts, so extra special place in my heart. Naruto GALS, it's the GALS series. The dudes are Mega House gems, but the GALS are under GALS. Like I said, there's a Tsunade. She's, of course, drunk with the cute little slug. I keep forgetting the slug's name. But the little slug, and she's drinking sake, I believe, or something like that. I have seen a very cool-looking Hinata one. I do want the Hinata. Although that one's more expensive than these, but still looks really cool. But Kushina Uzumaki. And then she's on the bottom as well. I'm used to opening figures to the bottom, but like Mega House, like fancy figures, they have like the flap at the bottom, so you can't like open it. I actually have to cut the tape for you guys. I have to ruin my mint and box figures for you guys, but I'm excited to check her out. So let me actually take Tiniest Knife, because Tiniest Knife is a bit cleaner. And cut our seals. Ooh, there's a sneaky one here. Would have missed that if I didn't spin it around. We do have the 3 seals on top. Of course, Kurama was more secure than this, but we're going to be able to get in anyways. All right. I wonder if there'll be any assembly required, like there slightly was with that Kakashi Anbu figure. If you missed my review of that, opening review, make sure to go check that video out. Link up there in the top right-hand corner. For those of you watching not on YouTube mobile, I don't think the links show up on mobile, but if you're watching on desktop, you should be able to click there. If you're watching on mobile, it is on the channel. Just search for Kakashi Anbu. Alright, so it looks like there's some assembly required, as there was an instruction sheet. All right, what do we have here? And if I'll be looking at my phone on occasion throughout this video because, of course, Game 4, the Canadiens scored 2-1 in the third right now for Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals. If the Lightning win tonight, they do sweep the Canadiens for the Stanley Cup. All right, so we do actually have to assemble the chains. All right, that makes sense. That'd probably be something you don't want all together in transport. Seems very delicate. But all right. Do have tape here as well. I remember there was tape on the Kakashi, so good thing I checked before trying to just pull it apart. Some of the tape on this one is actually stuck to the plastic, so unfortunately might have to cut some of this plastic. Yeah, I did have to do a little bit of a number there. The base on this figure is huge. Definitely a lot going on though, so makes sense. Alright, so now I can take Kushina out. Didn't have to pop anything out because it's held by tape. Looks like this. Okay, interesting. But let me set that behind. So this is a unboxing and review, kind of. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've ever given anything a negative review because if I didn't like it in the first place, I wouldn't have bought it. I remember with the Kakashi, I was disappointed in how difficult, unexpectedly difficult it was to assemble his body uniform. So I did detract points from that one just for that. That was definitely very stressful when I was trying to put him together. But Kushina, we'll see how Kushina works out. Very excited, like I said, to be checking her out. Very hopeful that this will not be difficult. Like I said, I wasn't sure if we'd have assembly required, but it makes sense. With all those chains, so definitely feel like it's probably my best interest to leave her out on display, although I don't know where I would put her at the moment. Alright, let's take a look at the figure before we actually start getting into everything else. I do believe we have to pop her head off, though. Yes, we do need to pop off her head. And then I will put it back on afterwards, so that we can see what she looks like. I just want to, of course, get rid of this. Then we'll inspect her, and then we'll put her chains on. Her head did come off easily. It's always awkward. Always a little awkward when you pull the head off the figure. I like her simple outfit. Does look nice. I like the green color very much. I like the shoes that they have in the universe. I always find it hilarious that their toes are exposed. It's like, wouldn't it be better to be covered? Like, why do you need... I guess having wiggle room is nice, but why do you need it? Looks like Kushina wears shoes a little bit too small, especially this right foot here. Interesting, her toes are hanging off. Or perhaps her toes are just a little bit long. That's a little bit odd design there, but I will have to check the character design. Just looks like that shoe is a bit small. Of course, her apron, dress apron, looks really nice. And her hair, love the dynamicism in the hair. That's one thing I really like about statues is when they're dynamic. Now, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and pull off her head. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. So there's the underside of the hair. She also has detailed shading on her neck, which is impressive. There's her face. There's her hair. Reminds me kind of like an octopus. Then let's look at her back here. So that's where we'll be attaching all the chains. Alright, so we popped off her head. Now we get to construct... Okay, so the base does have some support beams that we need to stick to get the chains up. So, alright, let me move our plastic out of the way. And we have this little sheet here. Let me cut this here as well. Did only cut from the one side. Didn't think I'd need to cut from the other side, but we have learned otherwise. Move the bubble wrap. Boom. Okay, so we're going to do this together. So 1 was to pull off the head, 2, expose the back. So goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we get to eyeball which one is which. Alright, that might not be super fun here. But I'm sure we can figure it out. With the help of Tiny Knife to extract everything. Thank you very much, Tiny Knife. Oh, they're labeled. That's wonderful. Thank you, Mega House. Very kind. Very, very pro gamer of you, Mega House. Alright, so do have to pull these little things here. which will make it, of course, more difficult to keep it as I'm throwing them away at the moment. Because these don't really stick well back down, so you can just go ahead and get rid of them. We'll make them once you disassemble Kushina, if you need to put her away for, like I did. I don't have much display space, so I will, after, of course, like I said, I'm messing around with the light box tomorrow. We'll go ahead and put her back in the box, but of course you do have the top piece, and this is on the bottom, so it won't slide around too much, but if you're mailing, like perhaps you're selling used, or you're, I don't know, gifting to a friend or something, and you don't have the little stickies, that probably will slide around a bit, but hopefully not too much. But anyways, so we do want the little stands. Alright, so the big stand goes with the tall one, right? Okay, that seems to be the case. Small goes with the smallest. And then B is on its own. I'm assuming B goes into... Yeah, B goes into the base, so I'll actually go ahead and stick that in now. Interesting, so we have... I know I'm skipping steps a little bit. I'm assuming we want the fork up. So D goes in here. These definitely feel, these are ball joints. I would be careful. Alright, so definitely be careful putting these in. I could see these actually snapping easily, just because you do have to push to get them. I would hold as close to the actual ball as possible as you're trying to push in the joint. That would be my recommendation. So I did get that in there. Alright, alright. So that works. Looks like I didn't put it in 100% straight. Let me see if I can twist it. No. Alright, take it out. Put it back in. Alright, so this actually looks like it's going to be going upwards. So it doesn't seem to matter too much. Interesting though, as it doesn't seem to go straight up. Ah, okay, so we can see down here it has an angle, but up right there it does look like it goes completely straight upright. Alright, so that makes more sense. Alright, and that fits in a bit better, although it seems to be just wanting to go at this angle. So hopefully that's the way it's meant to be. For now, we are going back to page 1, direction number 4 here. So that way we can assemble, we need number 1, which is under a few. 1. And then 2. Right, make sure this says 1 on it. Okay, so how... Ah, it looks like actually, if I'm not mistaken... Ah, yes. Okay, so what you'll be doing here, I was like, that doesn't look like it fits around. You actually need to extract each of these from Kushina's back, and then you will put in... That's upside down. I think. No. Then you'll actually go ahead and insert the chains. Let me actually go ahead and take out all of them. I feel like that's probably the best idea. And I'm going to move the base right there. These do definitely require some grip. Probably easiest to pull out if you know somebody with strong yet small hands. I have quite the large hands. So the third piece And this one here, we're a little bit difficult to reach, but actually taking out number 5 has made number 4 more accessible. So there, all right, there we go. Definitely requires a bit of a pinch. And all right, let's put in number 1. There you go, Kushina. You have chain number 1. Like I said, really, with the chains that she has, really reminds me of Pandora Hearts. If anybody's seen Pandora Hearts, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. Pandora Hearts is one of my all-time favorites. So definitely would love to talk Pandora Hearts with somebody. All right. This doesn't make sense. This makes sense. I'm actually putting Kushina on the base first. Right, does that fit? Or is it supposed to be? One second. Yes, it's supposed to be the small foot. Now I see why that was on the second page, because that does seem to be a bit in the way. Alright, let's get Kushina. Let's get you on the stand. Does seem like the big peg is a bit too small, or too large. Her foot hole is a bit too small, but that could just be an optical illusion. There we go. It's actually difficult to see from the other side, but I was looking in through here under the skirt. We always have to investigate. She does have undies. We always have to investigate. Gotta check. Which actually doesn't make sense. She did just give birth to Naruto, right? So that actually doesn't make sense. So we have found a canonical discontinuity here, but hey, that's okay. I'd rather she does have undies. Anyways, that has nothing to do with what we're doing here, but we have to check. We always have to inspect for scientific purposes. Anyways, now we can get back to putting in our chains. It looks like number 1 wraps around to go on the tiny holding piece. Okay. I think I'm actually going to need to exchange. This is definitely going to be a figure that'll be hard to hold up at the end. Okay. Then we need piece number 2. Alright, hello there, number 2. Number 2 wraps around, goes up for the big holder. Okay. That looks really cool. This looks really cool. Now I get to flip over. You guys don't get to see what I'm doing from here on out, just because we don't really have space. 3 goes up. Cool. 4 goes around, and then 5 gets to stand over there. Here's 4. There's 4. And 5. Alright. This is oddly satisfying. Sliding these in, these little peg holes. It's odd, some are looser than others. I don't think we want it going towards your body, Kushina, so let me take this out, put it back in. Cool. Sick. All right, 3 and 4. Now. Okay, 4 goes there. And 3, we want like this. Whoop, a little too far. Did pop that out. Like I said, doesn't go all the way up. That looks cool. Right now, she reminds me of the Iron Spider from Infinity War, I believe. But it looks cool, looks cool. Alright, so now we put our head back on. Might be difficult, actually. This might actually be more difficult than I would think. Alright, alright. Alright. Kushina. Kushina. We'll have to readjust the chains after, yes. All right, do. Definitely makes more sense the positioning of the chains in the diagram now that her head is on. All right, let me go back, check number 4. How was number 4? Set up. Number 4 was downward. Was it around? No, it was not supposed to be around. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So these are supposed to be more towards the front, but they are a little curvy. This one doesn't want to curve this way. This one also wants to curve towards the back. Oh, this one does look like it's curving towards the back in the image. However, the small one is supposed to be facing toward the front. Let me do. I think this one honestly just needs to get stretched out a bit. And then it will. Right now, I'll let chain number 1 face that way. But what I will do now, let me close up this. And now, all right, let's go back to full view. Now you guys can actually see what I was working on. I feel like top-down view there might not have been the best, but gotta work with the setup we got. Look at that. That actually looks super cool. Like I said, reminds me of the Iron Spider. That actually looks really cool with the change. This one, like I said, this one's supposed to face towards the front. The second one does look like it's pointing towards the back here, but I do think that's just needs adjustment. Does look like it can go either way. Like I said, I do think they just need to get stretched out a little bit. Of course, being in the box or in that particular position. But this looks super cool. Very excited to actually take some nice fancy pictures. Kushina being our first test subject for the light box. Of course, I hope that it didn't show up broken or anything like that. If you guys don't see any pictures of Kushina ever, it's because the light box didn't work. But I'm sure you'd hear me complain about that in a different video if that was the case. But that looks actually super sick, so I do love the way this looked. Tickles my Pandora Hearts fancy. If you guys have never seen Pandora Hearts, probably like, I don't get the reference. The chains, it's literally just the chains to the abyss. I hope one of you have seen Pandora Hearts. At least somebody knows what I'm talking about. But I love the way this figure looks. A lot more, actually, than I expected. The chains look super cool. I thought they'd be a bit cheesy. But I think they look super awesome. Definitely can't wait to see what she looks like against the white background. I know it probably looks weird. You see my blurry face behind her head. A little bit difficult to focus on the pieces at hand, but it looks nice. Looks nice. Super cool. Wish that we had more Kushina content, but she was great for the time that we saw her. I like the little, I'm not sure if it was filler or not, but the flashback when she was a kid and Minato was a kid and she got kidnapped and he went to save her. It's like, oh my goodness, it's so sweet. So, love Kushina as a character. Thought she was really cool. Hope we see more of her maybe somehow in a flashback again. If not, just have to enjoy the episode she was in. So I think that does it here for this opening. Now I do have to get into the review part. Some assembly required, so wasn't super easy. However, wasn't very difficult either. Definitely a lot easier than the Anbu Kakashi, even though there's a lot more going on here. The pegs did fit very well. Like I said, these were a bit tight for those that are like me with larger hands, larger fingers. Actually, it's funny, our TCG player Billy has very small hands, but his hands are very wide. I honestly don't know if he'd be able to take out those pegs by himself. Not to be mean, I'm just saying, if you have very meaty hands, might need someone with smaller fingers for assistance. Like I said, they were a bit tight. Definitely want to have small but strong hands to take those out. But other than that, I guess I'll take it to a 9.5 from that. So I know everything. 95. Ooh, a whole half point to 9.5, Allie. Wow, you're so not generous with points. I know, right? No, but I love the way this looks. Very, for what's going on here, very surprisingly easy assembly. Was easy to put the chains into the pegs, and they stay. And then, of course, you do have, I thought putting her head on, I was like, oh no, her hair is going to mess stuff up. But the way it's constructed, the chains do go through. Like I said, her hair is very dynamic. They weave in and out between. You can adjust so that they are, as you see down here, wrong button, between the strands of her hair. So they do go in well, they fit well, they sit well, they stay well. And then one did get, I think, knocked a little loose. I believe it was number 4 or so. Did need to bring it around the hair. Like I said, there's a lot of open strands. You can position them the way you want. This looks great, man. The view of her, but with me behind, and of course the background, I feel isn't doing it justice. So I'm very excited to go ahead and take pictures in the light box. But this is a great figure. Definitely like it. Like I said, even more than I expected, even though this is a super cool design. Definitely looks great out of the box. I would definitely recommend it. If you're a Kushina fan, if you're like, maybe it's like Naruto's mom's cool, but like I don't need it, definitely can see that argument. Like I said, I struggled it with myself. I asked you guys, would you want to see an unboxing? You guys said yes. I'm like, all right. But definitely happy to have this in my collection, and I'm looking forward to picking up that Hinata. Like I said, I think that Hinata's coming out, maybe a re-release, maybe a new figure, but it is from the Naruto GALS line. And of course, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me pick up the Tsunade as well. I think there might be 2 different Tsunades. It's the one where she's sitting down, the slug's on her shoulder, and she's having a drink. So like I said, this one I definitely like out of the box a lot more. Potentially that one as well. Let me know if you'd like to see that. I'm easily convinced to spend money. You guys should know this. So let me know if you'd like to see a Tsunade unboxing in the comments down below. But this is a great figure. I love it so much. This actually looks amazing. Like I said, definitely doesn't do it justice for that one with me in the background. Let me see if I can actually. Now I'm gonna mess up my brand new settings here on the new tripod. Let me ruin my settings. Yes. All right. It's just such a cool view of her head on. Oh, a little too much. A little too much. Disconnected the camera. Come back. There we go. Let me go up so we can have this top piece. It looks so amazing. I'm in love with this figure. Like I said, a lot more than I expected. Like, it looks cool in the box. Yeah, I think you're flat about here. Hello. Sorry to anybody who doesn't like motion. Also, I'm not wearing makeup today. I was like, my skin just is not having it. So let me just go YOLO. YOLO it. Alright, I need to straighten that out a little bit. I think that's approximately where we were. Maybe a little bit down. I don't think I remember seeing Kushina's head in the frame, but hey, that's okay. Alright, hello. Welcome back. Hi, me. Supposed to be looking at me. Hey, psst, camera. Alright, I like how if I lean in, you can see skin texture. Anyways. Your casual reminder that I'm a real human being. Anyways, Kushina is throwing off the focus, so I'm going to move her right here. And I'm going to scoot in a little bit, and hopefully the camera will stop hating me for what I was doing. But yes, very in love with this figure. Definitely 9.5. Like I said, I only taken it out just because there's a lot of assembly required. Definitely seems like those of, you know, I feel like I was on the border for hand size. A little bit too tight, but definitely still worked out. So that's the only thing I would take away from this figure. I like that you can pose the chains. Like I said, they're very flexible. Definitely seems like you could bend them into shape. It did show, actually. First I was confused, but there's the two pictures there. You can have chains number 1 and 2 towards the front, or you can have them facing towards the back. Like I said, these are very bendy. They do seem very flexible, very nice. I'm not worried about the chains breaking. I was more worried about her foot, but her foot did fit. So that definitely seemed just like a little optical illusion. Looked smaller than it actually was. She did fit into the base. Sits very nice. So that's my final score here, 9.5 out of 10. Will I ever give anything lower than, I think the lowest has been like, what, an 8? Just because I felt like I had to, but I love everything that I've opened up here in the channel, so I'm very happy that you guys did go ahead and say that you'd like to see this, because I'm very happy with it in my collection. So I hope you all enjoyed this figure. Hope you all enjoyed this review. I know my reviews aren't necessarily review worthy, but because I am enjoying everything that I do purchase, of course, to pick up the show off here. So I am of course biased. We'll definitely admit that. But I had a great time checking out this Kushina, so I hope you did as well. If you did, don't forget to go ahead and hit that like button. Comments for me, leave those down below. And of course, if you're not yet part of the Allie's Treasure Trove family, I'd love to have you join us. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But also, before I get on out of here, do have to give a big shout out to all of my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so much, you all, for your above and beyond support. I truly do appreciate it. Update for those of you who are ultimate excavators and gemstone miners. Now, my intention was to get all of those monthly perks packed up today on Monday that I'm recording, and then sent out on Tuesday. But after I did pick up the photos for you ultimate excavators, it started pouring rain. So I left those in the car. Wasn't going to take them in. It was torrential, so I'll get those. I did take them in a little while ago. We'll get those all packed up on Tuesday, and those should be out in the mail on Wednesday. So a little bit of a day late, but you know what? I'm going to use the weather as an excuse. I did try my best, but one day late photos are better than wet photos. So I hope you all agree. But speaking of Ultimate Excavators, we do have 6 Dustin Archuleta, Jack Perez, Keith Muta, Mako, Mark Lennon, and Stephen Olivo, 2 Gemstone Miners, Andon and Stephen Bly, and 1 Crystal Collector, David Mounts. Also, we do have a new Treasure Hunter. Thank you so much, Christopher, for joining. Big shout out to Christopher for becoming a Treasure Hunter. Do try to give extra special shout outs to anyone who's new that joins. Really appreciate you taking the plunge. Thank you so much, Christopher. And I hope you keep enjoying Patreon. So thank you so much for that support. But thank you so much to all of my patrons, whether you're on a tier in which I say your name at the end of every video or not. Do appreciate your support. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. But that does it for me here in this episode. I feel like I do need to adjust the camera. For some reason, it doesn't seem to be completely in focus. So if you see, I'm trying to lean forward a little bit because I seem good here, but back here it's a little odd. So I think I might have touched something on the camera. Like I said, I do think it's still a little off kilter, so I need to adjust that. But I think that view that I was able to get with Kushina was worth it. So I hope you guys don't mind this end of video kind of some semi-blurriness going on. But this week should be having an Allie Plays on Thursdays. I don't see why we'd have any delay on that. But of course, if anything happens, I'll let you guys know in the community tab. And of course, last week we didn't have an Allie Chat. So this week I'll be back on Sunday with that new episode of Allie Chat. So 3 videos this week. Hope you enjoy all of them. But thank you so much for watching this one here. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all take care. Stay safe. Hope you'll join us next time as we unearth some more treasures here on Allie's Treasure Trove. See you next time, everybody, and take care. Bye.